day and welcome back, all you four-color funny book aficionados. This is US Comics Cast, HQ for all things comic book connected. We are John and Charlie Rivera, the co-founders of US Comics. Charlie, happy comic book day.
I literally considered kissing you on the
God
mouth there
damn it.
to be hilarious. And happy comic book day and nearly kiss day to you and to everyone listening and watching today. As always, we are brought to you by Bad Mary Band and Sergeant Finesse Gaming. If you haven't done so already, please attack that comment section like you're staring at a time-traveling Nazi square in the mush.
You know what happens then.
I do. John.
Woo!
How you doing on this, like, very weird... one might say we got an extra day off. I say we were forced to have 2 Mondays.
I just don't understand why we're doing a Monday show. It seems very, very...
Not a Monday. It is a classic, traditional... We're not observing Comic Book Day. No. In fact, it is Wednesday. We are just in the lizard people who run this world of ours have forced the second Monday. They tried to blow up shit. They disguised it with fireworks.
Now, are you implying that the founding fathers were indeed lizard people?
Let me ask you this.
Or that it was much later in our history that the invasion began?
Let me ask you this.
Come on, man. You gotta, if you're gonna populate the people with theories, you gotta, man, take it all home.
Let's unravel this, shall we? Right? People came from the same line that monkeys came from, right? You're telling me birds came from dinosaurs? No, lizard people came from dinosaurs. So yeah, absolutely. In England, there was a hatchery, and they said, let's let these lizard-type people run a country. They faked that document, which is really what the 4th of July is about. All you guys talking about, like, guns and freedom and whatnot, it was paperwork day. It was powdered wig and paperwork the holiday. Lizard people.
Unless you were formally submitting a resume to the Joe Rogan podcast, I'm going to need to shut that down right now. Only for the simple fact that there is so much going on that deserves talking to. So
really, a belly full of barbecue? That's my only thing I have going on.
That is valid.
The only good thing in my life, barbecue in my belly.
So I'll certainly kick it off. Charlie once again had the good sense to drag me along to another Kevin Smith event over at Smod Castle Cinemas, and you know what? I thought that I was driving, but I was wrong, man, because it was actually the bear that was driving.
Bear is driving.
Ooh,
how
bear
can that
is
be?
Driving so dynamite. Just an absolute marathon of all 6 episodes of the Clerks cartoon, which some of you good folks out there don't even remember that existed, but oh, it did. Granted, only 2 episodes actually aired before those summer bitches canceled. But we got to see them all on the big screen. Charlie, it was outstanding. What an event.
Let me ask you this, though. 6 episodes of a cartoon. Original airtime was between 19 and 22 minutes. How long would that event be if it was a lame place?
I mean, we had to cut out when we had to cut out, but it might still be going.
It was, you would think 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. Show was set for 7 o'clock. Didn't start till 7:30 because Kevin Smith waits for everyone. So there's probably someone stuck in traffic. Then...
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what we'll go with.
We had a 2-hour auction of some of the coolest shit I've ever seen.
The biggest total dollar auction that they've had there today.
Allegedly. That's rumor and innuendo.
No, that Kevin said it.
Oh, shit.
Kevin said as much. He's Kevin to me. He's Kev to Charlie.
It's true.
Because that's just ridiculous.
We're almost at a K-Dizzle
Charlie,
place.
You are almost at a single white female place.
It's bad.
My man, you gotta look out, man. We know a lot of the same people.
I personally...
Absolutely awesome.
The auction truly was the highlight for me. There's something about seeing that cool and random bullshit that... I don't know why, but people get so into it. There was a guy who must have spent, do you think $2,000 or more? One guy spent so much goddamn money that all of us were just fixated on what you just hear the rumblings. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
Almost anybody in the audience at this point could probably describe him to a T.
And it's only offensive. Like, he was a
sketch artist.
He was a cartoon of a man.
Well, I mean
it respectfully and filled with love.
His arm was always going up. So my police sketch artist, I'll be like, well, he's got one arm that's always like this. It was awesome.
My police sketch would just be like that he has a wife. Because I was obsessed with it. I'm like, how the fuck Does this, and I guess it's because
how are you
has so much
getting
money.
away with it? And then she would fucking.
She won some
bid on
fucking
certain
items
things, for sure. But what else was going on?
Literally, that's it. That and like just like last week, just crushing the. No, I wound up getting a friend of mine is a member of the New York Luscious Ladies Long Island chapter. They do like I forget what it's called, but it's like vintage modeling.
What?
So yeah, they do like the fucking old timey like giant fucking beehive hairdos and like the fanciest sundresses,
like pinup girl type
like
stuff?
pinup girl. That's what it really is.
Well, how am I invited to a cartoon marathon and I'm just hearing about the pinup models event now?
Because you know, like an airplane's going down, you put the mask on yourself first. I'm desperately trying to put my mask on first. I'll get to you.
Have a drink over here.
They invited me to be a very nerdy judge this weekend at EternalCon, so I learned how to do that. So that was the other big thing, and I have the audacity of being a depressed person. When it's just like, yeah, I'll come judge.
Fucking believable. Well, that's I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you and your process. But and even the 4th of July, them illegal fireworks bursting all over Long Island.
Just scaring every pet on Long Island, and a bunch of people on Facebook being like, "Fuck pets."
Yeah, no, it was
monsters.
It was something. It was really something. It absolutely made me.
Dude, fireworks are so fucking cool. Like no one does them.
Yeah, for sure.
And noise is great.
So in any case, we also as well as got to an event. Really, it was really more than a movie. Not just for myself. It was an event. It was a happening. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Was it? Is that not it? I am Indiana Jones.
So we finally fucking dropped, and anyone who is even remotely paying attention knows that I am an absolute uber. Don't punch me in the face, Indy. An uber Indiana Jones fucking fan. So I was probably looking forward to this more than most. But naturally, Charlie, as the good brother that he is, was right there with me, holding my hand. I didn't ask him to. Just right there.
I get scared in the dark.
See me through the thick and the thin, the good and the bad, or whatever the case might be. So I think it would be unfair to monopolize the happening for myself, because I feel like while Charlie is a fan, I don't know that Indy would necessarily break you're a list maker that you are. I don't know that Indiana Jones would break your top 5 of things. Like Desert Island, you can only bring 5 fandoms that you love. I don't know, would Indy be one of those 5 for you? For not taking anybody else into account. I'm safe on another beach, sipping fucking Mai Tais with half-naked coconut bra, a vintage model fucking pinup girl. So don't worry about me. Sure, I'm gonna be alright.
There are certain categories, like if I split up the lists, like I am known to do. What do you make my top? If it specifically was like top 5 fictional characters,
top 5 fandoms. So if you're like, I love the U.S. presidents, that's a fandom they bring.
No, Indiana Jones is a thing I appreciate.
Okay.
Without being, it has no ability to hurt me.
Okay.
I'll put it to you this way: Crystal Skull. I was like, that's a movie. There was monkeys and shit. That was weird.
Was a movie.
But there was nothing I remember, and I've only seen it twice. Mm-hmm. There was nothing about Crystal Skull that I was like, I am offended.
Nothing egregious.
Meanwhile, there's films I love that I'm like, how dare. Clerks 3, I'm like, how dare you have a runtime of only 1.5 hours, dick. Like, there is something about Indiana Jones, to me, that I think specifically resonates as, like, not mine.
Interesting.
So anytime I pick up an Indiana Jones thing, it does feel like I am borrowing something from you. Like, this is your property.
Yeah, but you should always have that feeling.
And I do. But it would be the equivalent of like having a strong opinion on like Buck Rogers. I'm like, I don't fucking.
I gotcha.
Not saying that you love Buck Rogers, but Flash Gordon. I love Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon doesn't feel like mine. Sure. Transformers doesn't feel like mine. Yeah. These are toys that I can appreciate.
Literally and
figuratively. Exactly. I picked them up. The best example, actually, G.I. Joe. I really dig G.I. Joe. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like I have ownership over that fandom.
Good.
I'm a passenger.
It's mine, mine, mine. I'm a happy miser.
Also, Star Wars, I feel mostly like a passenger.
Yeah,
up
but
until recently, because Mandalorian's my fucking guy.
There's been so much.
Much to Ellis's glee, if they were to do like a Mutt Williams series, there's a chance that if you give him a tiny sidekick, I'd be like, fuck yeah, Mutt Williams is the greatest fucking jewel thief or whatever the fucking he does.
I got bad news for you, bro.
This is fun. I like that we can fondle.
There's not gonna be.
You want one of these?
Right?
I can give you.
I definitely don't. So the world is waiting. I'll just put it in the most like restaurant fucking meal ist of terms. Did you enjoy yourself?
Fuck yeah! I had a really.
Aha! I was gonna ask you a different question. Did you enjoy yourself with that underage boy?
No. I really enjoyed Dial of Destiny. Minus the fucking very rude, showing up late, jibber jabbing like they were in their living room people next to us.
Yeah.
Who I almost had to fucking punch like they were Nazis. No ticket.
It was a woman.
And she would have. I'm a feminist. I believe women can do anything men can do, including getting punched in the mush.
Include infuriating Charlie.
Exactly. Well, that's their fucking specialty. If you look at my history,
that's true. That is true.
There were aspects of it that felt like they were so not mine. I couldn't even like fucking vote. Like
what?
One of my buddies was talking about like it didn't really take its time. It was a very like hurry up and get to the next scene flick.
Who was it? Who said that?
My buddy Jimmy.
Jimmy, I hope this gets to you at some point. The fucking movie was 2.5 hours long. They didn't take their time. What did you want it to be, a Kevin Smith fucking marathon event? They took their time, dude. They took their time doing everything.
I wholeheartedly disagreed. I thought everyone had good chemistry. It was fucking great. I don't know how we want to handle spoilers, but I was very happy that the flick...
I say spoiler.
Yeah, no one fucking saw it. They're all waiting for it to be on TV. For me, it was great that they didn't stick to Indiana Jones like needing to find himself, and there was elements of that. But this wasn't a 2.5 hour movie about a guy who's past his prime, who sucks now and like hates everything. It really, if there were elements, maybe for you it affected you more. For me, it very much felt like the minute this guy got his hat back, he was like, "Let's fucking do this."
Yeah. So I would respectfully disagree with that.
You're more educated. You're more versed than him.
Well, I mean, I'm just
because of how old you are.
Old, yeah. I mean, anybody would look at us and be like, "Oh, Charlie."
Not everyone.
Indiana Jones might have been like actually having adventures with Charlie.
You know who won't think that? Fucking pinup models, because they'll never meet you, you son of a bitch. Yeah, I don't care how zoot suity your fucking hair is, cocksucker.
They are traditionally very, very smart.
Zoot suit John.
Educated. I will not have you sing over my punchlines ever again, sir. In any case, so again, Indiana Jones has and will always hold a very special place in my heart. He's a childhood hero. Like, I put him up there with Keith Hernandez. Like, he's just a fucking hero.
John, this is a comic book podcast? Who's
not for long, baby.
Keith Hernandez. Tell the people.
They know him from Seinfeld.
Oh yes, that's
so he has equity with me always and forever. So I personally didn't enjoy Crystal Skull, for example, as a movie, period. But there were still plenty of moments where I got to sit back and say, oh, that's Indiana Jones,
when he's flying through the air from a nuclear fucking explosion.
Yes, 100%. Which actually...
This motherfucker has luck of the Latin.
There's more scientific backing of writing out a nuclear explosion in a fucking refrigerator than there is for 9/10 of the shit you see. Far more than having a 1,000-year-old man fucking tell you you're an asshole.
Well, that was I don't want to take over.
It's fine.
Well, but like I didn't bump into that at all. Like this movie, third act, they're like, "You like that Flash movie?" And everyone was like, "No." They're like, "Fuck," because we're gonna ride this time travel thing. I didn't bump into a problem with Indiana Jones time traveling. Because there was a 100-year-old man waiting for him. There was a 1,000-year-old man. Sorry, there was straight up like the Ark of the Covenant. Like this is not a subtle franchise.
It's not so much. So it's interesting that you say that because
thank you.
The franchise.
I'll be going home now.
The franchise has kind of built its base on the concept of like, okay, here's some historical shit, which you can back up anywhere you like. You can Google machine this all day long, and this was. You know, even before Google was a thing. Not the word, but the search engine.
Google.
So yeah, so it always kind of had that premise of like, okay, the science and the methodology and the fucking, you know, the doctorate in your name is gonna matter because these are some real things, and history is a son of a bitch. History is gonna exist whether you believe in it or not, whether you know it or not. History is still fucking there. So, regardless of the fact, these are still historical items. Even the shit like the fucking
Crystal Skull.
like the crystal
The real
skulls
thing.
for sure, but I'm talking about the Inkari stones.
Yeah,
The Temple of Doom stones. Like that's some real shit. The Thuggee cult was a real fucking thing. I don't know necessarily that they had a Moloram type character who could snatch the heart out of the chest of a guy who's still alive.
Kalima!
And like gets to see his heart thump 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 thump. So Indiana Jones has always been very comfortable with the fantastic elements, and they tend to always kind of come in the third act. So I agree with you in that regard. No issue with the time travel. I really didn't have that much of an issue with the aliens proper. I had a bigger issue with like, okay, that's fine, but that don't make sense. Like the way that they went about it.
It was very of its time because that was a time where like every
Spielberg,
movie ended with Linkin Park.
Well,
It was a weird time in history.
He, you know, somebody quoted it better than I, but something along the lines of like, Steven Spielberg doesn't know how to not shoot a scene properly.
Yeah.
Like it's a gift. It's something that's inherent in him. Every movie, I don't care what it is, it's all about the storytelling. So at some point, that story had to be written down on paper, and I would have been like, excuse me, and take my little red pen out. I would have maybe run out of ink with the story that they chose to tell in fucking
Crystal Skull.
Not Crystal Skull, but in Dial of Destiny. So I also did not have an issue, which I know a lot of people did respectfully. Your opinions are always valid because they're yours, assumptively. I didn't mind at all Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I loved her.
She was wonderful. You recast her in the core.
I recast her.
And that was better casting.
I recast her for the character that they had her playing, but the character that they had her playing was such a fucking flip-flopper that she was hard to root for, right? So
agreed.
Even, and again, I'm going to bounce around a little bit in the indie world. Even the Nazi bitch from Last Crusade, she had more likable moments, I would argue, than Indy's own goddaughter.
Yeah.
Which is like such a colossal, like, mind fuck. I'm like, what I do like a blonde, but I mean, come on, man, John, get your shit together. So there were some elements, but as an indie fan, if I saw, I'll put it in these terms, if I saw Harrison Ford dressed up like Indiana Jones and he's hawking Klondike bars in a commercial on TV, I'm like, oh, it's
Use
Indy.
his whip to pull one over.
It's Indy. Oh my God. So the movie gave me joy just because I was seeing Indiana Jones in the flesh on the big screen yet again at the same time, literally in like a nose for nose photo finish. I was sad. This movie, Charlie, made me sad because, spoilers aside, Indy was a sad guy. Not that he was older. The older part wasn't the issue.
Yeah.
I'm like, my man, he went through everything he went through, and this is what his finish line looks like. That is fucked up. That is like life being unfair. So I was, bottom line review, I was disappointed. Not in the portrayals at all. Not in the execution, because Mangold is a great director.
Very Spielbergian.
I would disagree with that.
Really? I thought he was doing like his
the first 20
remix.
minutes. The first 20 minutes of it was absolutely very Spielbergian, but it was also artificial.
Yeah.
So that's almost easier to do.
Did you bump into that at all? There was a couple shots where I'm like, oof, they haven't figured out CGI teeth.
The CGI, infamously at this point, because everybody's talking about it, the CGI, was it perfect throughout? No. Were there moments where I'm like, oh, that looks amazing?
That is.
And there were moments where I'm like, that doesn't look good.
I think I'm being helped by like Flash looking so bad that I was like, anything that's better than Ant-Man now, I'm like, it's a miracle. And it did feel miraculous. Can I ask you this, and I know you hate it, do you feel like the last two Indiana Jones, Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny, are the worst two? Because notoriously, I don't want to make you rank anything because I'm not going to bully you, but notoriously, the original trilogy, you've always spoken about an elephant in the room with one of them being inferior.
Well, actually, no. I disagree with that. I do not like to even think about things in those terms, much less talk about them in those terms. Just in terms of my...
You made that up in my head?
No, just in terms of my enjoyment of the movies, then I think I know what you're alluding to. Yeah, alright, so if you hand me the box set, right, and it's just the movies, I'm going to take young Indiana Jones and put him off to the side with his fucking powder ass and his, Boondock Saints resume intact. Just the flicks and say, here you go, John, this is for you, which is fine. My birthday is in September. I'm going to always play Raiders first. And I'm not going to play Temple of Doom next, which technically, if you really want to get technical, it's the first movie in the timeline, because Temple of Doom is a prequel to Raiders. Fun fact. I'm still not going to watch Temple of Doom first. I'm going to watch Last Crusade second. Yeah, Charlie, I am going to, so I would say Raiders first, Last Crusade second, then Temple of Doom, because while there were moments in it where I'm like,
yeah,
it's still a fun romp, right? You still like get to yay at the end.
Is that the one where the dog was named Indiana?
It was, yeah. And then I will watch. Then I'll watch fucking Crystal Skull, and last I'll watch Dial of Destiny, just because even Crystal Skull is not a fucking downer.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
We know that Harrison Ford may be hanging up the live action hat.
For sure.
But there is definitely going to be...
Somebody's going to tell me the truth. It is 80-year-old Harrison Ford.
If you can understand it.
And I can.
There is no chance that this is the last adventure of Indiana Jones. Maybe in a comic book, maybe in a book, maybe in a cartoon, maybe in a fucking anime. I don't know. What if it's revealed that Indiana Jones isn't necessarily old? What if this is just like the year after his kid died? So it's like, it could just be a downer year. Everything else could have been fucking Tits McGillicuddy.
It was, and again, spoiler alert for Ellis, who was looking for Mutt. Mutt's dead.
He died. I tell you he did.
I tell you he did. So it's not just that. This is spoiler heavy, guys. So earmuffs if you don't want to hear it. It's not just that his son died. It's the way that his son died. It's the fact that his marriage was in effect decimated as a result. He's retired.
That could have been that month, though. That shit could have been like, you could do a little creative writing.
Yeah, but on the same token, like, okay, so what's he walking into?
Because you're bumming me out by pointing out the fact that, like, Indy's sad. Because I'm sick of my heroes.
Facts are tough to fucking fight.
I will tell you this. I am officially, and I think it's perfectly watchable, perfectly fine. I do think you should go out and see it.
It looks
very big, nice on the big screen.
I'll put it in these terms. If you're an Indiana Jones fan, it's a must-watch.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to have that fucking...
a hole in your heart.
That fear of missing out, not knowing of an indie adventure. I'm going to fuck you guys up right now. Some of the best indie adventures that I know of came in the form of comic books. I digested story, adventure after adventure of Indiana Jones doing shit that we have never seen on the big screen or the small, and they are absolutely some of the best. So, you don't want to be in that place, because now you have to look for these back issues, which I'll happy to list. But also, as well as, you're gonna have to know, well, where's Indy at in his life? Because I will give them credit, they weren't monsters like they were over at the World of Star Wars, and killed a man off. But they tried. They done been tried. The
Tits McGillicuddy film coming soon. We'll fix cinema.
Yeah, I got no problem with that at all.
My big takeaway is that I am officially filled to the brim with, like, remember those heroes you loved? Everything wound up bad. Like, at this point,
yeah,
I need like 20 years before you even threaten me with Kingdom Come. I'm over it.
Yeah,
I need
20 years would be speeding it.
I need like your RoboCop pitch where it's like that end of the movie needs to be like, we found your human dick. Like, here's your wife. We reanimated her. Like, and someone in Holly Weird, write this fucking down. I am in desperate need for a movie to end. And everyone's like, yeah. None of this fucking like pending doom.
Well, there's
even your teaser, the after the credits should be like at the end of Blue Beetle. It should be the girl that he likes who works in the lab is like, I'm gonna blow that guy. Correct, like black. Like I need happiness.
It probably would not be in the DC fucking slate, but I hear what you're saying. But I was gonna say that's our fault. Like the movie viewing. Movie viewing populace.
Were we asking for it?
Yeah.
Look how we were dressed.
We are such a fucking morbid mess of a group that it's... You know what it is, Charlie? It's the fucking Matrix. Do you guys remember the point where Neo was actually talking to the engineer? Whatever. He's like, yo, motherfucker, we tried to make a Matrix for you jerks to live in where everything was perfect.
Everyone's cities were perfect.
You fucking dum-dums, you fucking refused it. There's something about your species that just refuses to be happy and fucking revels in morbidity, and that's true.
You know what's funny
That
though?
is true. That's the most true shit from the
considering that like all my fucking favorite endings are like ridiculously happy ones. I like Superman looking at the camera.
Sure.
I like fucking Peter and Dana at the end of Ghostbusters kissing. Yeah. Like I am
dog kissing motherfucker.
Like considering.
You know she had a heavy kiss of dog breath, man.
Bro, you think Pete Venkman gives a fuck about dog breath?
Well, he must not. He must not.
He's like, let's get this bitch some
stuff
kibble. I'm sorry, I need you to set your mind back to Dana Barrett's fucking ridiculous body. In both Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2.
Alien.
No, John, I'm talking about reducing her to an object. I'm reducing them to objects. Huh. I don't look at Jason Momoa and I'm like, what a good actor.
I do remember her being effectively like a ghost rotisserie. I'm like, oh, I wonder if they make one of those. But just to take it back to fucking Indy, it made me sad more than anything else that, in all likelihood, I'm not gonna see Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones on the big screen again. That was the main thing about it. So. In all fairness, the entire production staff, and I'm including Kathleen Kennedy, because she's so disliked that it's completely socially acceptable now and almost demanded upon by fandoms that anything she has her fucking fingerprints
she's
on,
the enemy.
They're like, this is a flop, this is a bomb, she's the worst, she's killing everything. She's not. You just don't like her for your own personal fucking reasons, which is entirely okay, but don't then try to pin it on other things that's not your truth. Like be true,
be genuine
to your own fucking bullshit. I'm not saying that you don't think it, but don't apply it to other things, right? If she drives a fucking Chevy and your Chevy breaks down, it's not her fault. Like, sincerely, what are you doing? Yeah. What are you even doing nowadays?
I think it takes away from the shit that she does botch. When you blame someone for everything, it takes away the
She ruins everything. Well, she didn't ruin this, but yeah, you're right.
I want to be able to yell at her about the scripts for Mandalorian Season 3.
Yell at her?
Like, I have very specific notes.
I mean, you never will, because her security guard is just outstanding. They're like the crimson fucking long dresses and shark.
Very specifically, just because we're talking about it, and not just picking on Ellis, although that is my third favorite thing to do.
Ellis, what's this kid's issue, man? Throw this kid a beating.
I don't like that I even know who executives are.
But you know what, though, Charlie? Were we not in the society?
I would just be blaming
we
the
wouldn't know who they are. It would
fucking
just be
Disney.
We'd say fuck the suits.
But fuck the suits.
Which is absolutely correct, but she should be hashtag fuck the pantsuits.
Yeah.
Because she's a very,
do you have to specify when a suit has pants?
I think you do.
Because the standard is a pant suit. I think you do.
Because to say fuck the lady suits is problematic. You're now the target.
I don't even consider her a lady. She is just a suit. She is more suit than anything else.
Not even. Like there's got to be a distinction someplace. But like I said, at the end of the day, regardless of Antonio Banderas, in effect being
That's
a glorified...
Antonio Banderas!
Boy,
That was the bitch next
that
to
was
us.
Charlie's trigger, but Antonio Banderas just being really a glorified cameo aside, introducing
that guy.
introducing I got bad news for you again, my friend.
Fuck.
You're not gonna be able to. Introducing a character just to almost immediately kill her. Freaking what's her face? The CIA agent. I'm like, this. She's an interesting character. Like, no, she's not. Don't worry about it. Bang bang. Having like known face actors being just in effect fucking goons. There were a ton of decisions that I would not have made myself. But again, I'm not in the position. Nobody asked me to make that movie. I would have happily, but
Well, we're a couple segments away from you perhaps earning that budget.
you never know. So, but that all being said, guys, it was an Indiana Jones movie. Don't let anybody, if you haven't seen the flick yet, don't let them lie to you and say, "Oh, it's a Fleabag movie." It's not. It's a not. She's a
That's a
flip-flopping
weird
character.
That's a weird, like, that's one of those
there's a
times
lot
where,
of
like,
hate bullshit
trolly
in the world,
bullshit.
bro. And it is trolly bullshit. You're right.
Because she has less per, like, words per scene than Mutt. She is not as invasive as even Mutt Williams.
But she has more facial tics than Mutt. Like,
she also has a bigger head, like, literally. Mutt was a little guy.
But yeah, so fucking Shia took himself out. That was for sure. Sala was fucking underused in my personal opinion.
I honestly, he showed up and he was like,
Paul.
in the trailer, because I did see the trailer for this one, he was like, I brought my passport. I'm like, fuck yeah, Sala, let's go. This
Sala
also
was ready to go.
reeks.
Sala was desperate to join either a bowling league to get out of the house
Yes.
or on go on an adventure with
This is hindsight being 2020, but like, fucking, you should have had your round, bitch. I do not love that smirk. That seems like a sissy smirk.
There are so many would've, could've, should've that when you have a franchise that's this old, all you do is compound. I would love this. I want this. I bet you do this. And when you come to the end of the road officially, and all of those wants and desires tend to kind of like stack up and just fucking boom, 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 like a car accident. It leaves you with a little bit of a hollow feeling. Was this movie what I wanted it to be as Indy's final adventure? Absolutely not. Was it an Indiana Jones movie? Maybe the first 20 minutes more so than anything else, but it absolutely was an Indiana Jones movie. My man Harrison Ford was up there in his full fucking wrinkly, gravelly glory.
He was great.
That was the other thing.
I loved him enunciating.
He works, man. Fucking what's his face? Mads.
Don't look at me for names.
The bad guy, Milkinson, maybe.
That sounds right, but I'm not gonna try to say it.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, everybody fucking showed up and they carried their lunch pails. They punched in. They did their work, man. They said the words that were on the script and they did it admirably. Mangold is a gifted director, even with material that I'm not particularly fond of. Like he did shit with Logan. I'm like, oh my, I actually care about this character.
A
That's
character
probably
I never care about.
Twice as tall as he should be, but shame on me for being a stickler. He's a talented guy. I think that ultimately Spielberg absolutely should have seen this home, especially if they were insisting upon. Now the issue that I do take though was like they had so many voices with the script writing process. I had to look that up and I said, look guys, this is really one of those cases where it's too many chefs in the kitchen. Yeah. Right, Chef?
That's right, Chef.
So...
And you haven't even seen Bear yet. You're going to be saying shit all the time.
Barbecue with these motherfuckers, you'll be saying Chef all day. So again, there were in the positive, negative column, there were checks on both sides.
Can I trade my final thought for just a question?
Sure.
A big fear in the Ghostbuster community is that at some point the bad will outweigh the good. For some people, that's already the case because they're like, only the first movie's good. But I love Afterlife. I love 2. 2016 hurt my feelings. There's this next one that now everyone's nervous because they're saying is in a new direction. With Indiana Jones, just purely filmed, just cinematically, there's an argument to be made that it's now outweighed. There's people that are like 3 bad Indiana Jones films, 2 good Indiana Jones film.
Yeah.
Is there any version of that could ever affect your love for the character? Or is he relatively bulletproof? Has he given you enough? I'm on the record. Once you get me to love you, feel free to flood the market with dog shit because I'm.
I got so much dog shit coming up.
Living proof, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
But sincerely, it's like once I'm in, I'm in, and I'm very good at pretending shit didn't happen.
Is that why you're often heard saying, "Am I in yet?" No. I'm just asking. I'm just inquiring minds want to know. But yeah, to answer your question, it's not so much the math of it all. It's that. Could be out, man. It's that. Well, maybe it is about the math because if you have negatives, right? If you have red on your ledger, as it were, that's got to come out of the balance. So with Indiana Jones, it was just like, oh, I liked it. Indiana Jones was like 100, like plus 100 likes, and then you're like, oh well, Temple of Doom wasn't quite as good as I wanted. That's like now -2. What do you smile like the fucking
just
cat that ate
fucking because Ellis is
you asked me this question.
Ellis is a bastard-coded bastard. He's saying I'm the reason why people like Ric Flair still wrestle, and I'm not always asking for more, motherfucker. That is a misappropriation of my personality.
Super nerdy fair, but I'm here for that. But yeah, no, just to answer your question, the shorter version of it, it's not just like loving Indiana Jones because it's like, yeah, like I love apples. Don't tell fucking Will Hunting that, but I love apples, but I also love pizza. I love pizza more than I love apples. So the like of Indiana Jones as a character, as a franchise, as an entity, far outweighs a not so stellar entry. And I would argue that compared to some of the other shit that's out there in the war that we're forced to kind of like digest. Give me the worst Indiana Jones movie ever made. Over 97.3% of the shit that's like put on my plate regularly.
Yeah.
And with far more frequency. So no, Indiana Jones to me is absolutely bulletproof, which any refrigerator in an atomic town would fucking prove to be the case. Indiana Jones cannot be fucked with, nor can Han Solo, nor can Superman. So go see it if you haven't seen it yet. I feel like a lot of you might not have. Go see it, make up your own opinion. Decide like, okay, I would have done this, or that's a fun game.
That's part of the fun.
It's most of the fun in some cases. But it was an Indiana Jones flick, and there's only gonna be one Indiana Jones flick this summer, so fucking make it count. Go see that shit. I know. If anybody sit there and tells you that Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is not worth seeing, it doesn't make a difference if you're a son of a bitch liar, just like the co-creator George Toyboy Lucas. If they say you shouldn't see Indiana Jones just that one more time, Charlie, they are one thing and one thing only. What is that?
And that's a liar, mother suckers, because Han shot first.
Yes. A salute.
Clink. Ah. Hey, John.
Wepa!
John, do you like bananas?
I do.
I got her number. Isn't that bananas? Woo! Oh, God damn it. Look at this. Just dropping in. We got a fan that's liked it. I'm not alone.
Leonardo, man.
I feel not alone, Leonardo, because of you.
Leonardo, I gotta tell you the truth, man. It was the hardest thing to do when franchises reach a certain level is to look at a movie independently of its own, family tree. So it's impossible. I would pay for this cat or kitten to go see this flick if they can prove to me somehow, blood test, lie detector, I don't know, if they can say, hey, I've never seen an Indiana Jones movie, and then I plunk them down, maybe in a certain theater in Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey, plunk them down in a seat and say, watch this, how do you take your popcorn, and then actually have a conversation with them after the fact so that they can give me an insightful first-person take, because it's impossible to watch the fifth movie in a franchise and not compare it to what preceded it. It's just not going to happen. So.
Very true. John, I find it weird that there have only been a few attempts at cloning Indiana Jones, mostly in video games. Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Then I had a movie. Uncharted, then I had a movie. But in my memory, at least, and I'm sure at the time, maybe when Indiana Jones first broke, and obviously it's based on very similar characters. Like it's
Romancing the Stone is an Indiana Jones clone.
Very true. I'm surprised there aren't more, which brings me about our next topic. Have you seen the trailer for Netflix's Rebel Moon?
Oh, I have.
Zack Snyder's next epic. Let's have you beautiful people take a quick look. We're gonna pop it up because it's not officially a trailer. It's more of a first look.
For all that you love, show them no mercy!
I thought I knew what a big movie was. Until I came onto this.
This movie, for me, existed.
This movie certainly exists. Zack Snyder here saying how he has been kind of having a version of this in his head forever. I feel like everyone has had a version of this forever. I'm just covering my brother. We'll go back to Our Beautiful Faces.
Damn it. Kind of looked like a witch.
It did. Like you have all the superpowers. First reaction to Rebel Moon.
Right. Well,
And I kind of saw it before the coverage.
Set it up for the good people.
So
How did this come about?
Netflix presents Rebel Moon, which allegedly, according to writer, director, creator Zack Snyder of Justice League infamy. At this point, he apparently pitched this as like Star Wars ... but like a hard R badass fucking. This guy cannot help but using 90s vernacular at every single fucking turn. He wanted to make a Star Wars movie that was grittier than
I think the actual quote was an R-rated Star Wars movie that he pitched.
Yeah.
He pitched to the
And this was right
Star
when
Wars
the acquisition happened. So this is when Disney first took over. He went and he's like, no, it'd be great for the mouse. Let's fucking make Star Wars bad fucking ass. John, my first reaction when I saw the teaser footage, it was part of Netflix's big thing a few months ago, 5 months ago. They did this like, this is our upcoming slate.
Yeah, which is a lot of premium channels do.
At the time, I hadn't heard anything about Rebel Moon.
Oh, yeah.
It looked so generic space fight.
It's pretty dirty people in space.
It's
which
Dune, it's John Carter.
A lot of the ships look like they're straight from Firefly.
100%. You know what it didn't feel like to me? Didn't feel like a Star Wars clone to me.
Well,
it felt like every other Star Wars clone to me.
You felt like it was a clone of a clone.
I felt like it was a photocopy of a photocopy that had seen John Carter of Mars and added some elements back because the originator of so many of those concepts, when they tried to finally get John Carter, what feels like a decade or more than a decade probably,
everybody,
when they tried to do John Carter proper, everyone was like, well, it's not as good as fucking Star Wars. This feels to me like a step backwards. The concept, very, very simple, which I love. There's this fucking moon. There's this evil empire type fucking thing.
That they called the Empire.
Did they call it the Empire? I thought it was called like the facility or something stupid.
It's the Empire. It's an empire, which I get. There's only so many synonyms.
So many
in the
words.
world.
Yeah.
Still just get a thesaurus and just to have it just in case.
I love the setup. Because again, very simple. There's this fucking moon, and it's like very rich in whatever spice. It might as well be spice.
Star Wars.
And then the fucking
They took spice from Star Wars. Star Wars, you had to have spice too. Come on, man.
they added this concept, or they started with this very simple concept, and almost instantly they fucked up the way that the Pitch Black series fucked up. Where they like, I think they almost missed the point. Because if you told me there was going to be an hour and a half Extraction 2 style sci-fi fucking movie where these bad guys show up on a planet and a fucking rowdy bunch of indigenous people fuck them up using not crazy technology because some empress shows up and she's like, I'll show you the way, who functions, I imagine, like a Luke Skywalker type of like, I'll fucking make things better. Bro, I'm all the fuck in. That trailer has elements I love. How the fuck is he not done making shit gray, though?
Do you know why, though, you would love that?
Why?
Because you loved it before.
True.
You loved it with Seven Samurai.
Yeah.
You loved it with fucking what was the fuck? It was the Western.
Inglourious Bastards.
Nope. Fucking.
The Adam Sandler one where it's funny.
Definitely not. I mean, definitely wasn't funny, but definitely not the one I'm referencing either. The Magnificent Seven.
Magnificent Seven.
Fuck you! You loved it when Mandalorian had a single episode.
Yeah, I
with
did love
the
it.
exact same premise. So that's fine because ultimately there are only so many premises out there to play with. I have no issue with that whatsoever. But like you said, if you're gonna do it again, do it big. Do it fucking, do it in different tones. And again, my man, it's a lot of his early stuff I absolutely am still a fan of today because I can separate, chapters.
Yeah.
But
you're not unaware that rankings are possible.
He's got like 2 filters for his fucking cameras, and that's what he uses. And
you know what he desperately, in my opinion, needs? I think you've said something like this in private. He almost needs a really visionary cinematographer to team up and bring someone else's visual style to his action.
He needs a strong-willed partner that has their own voice.
Well, what's interesting is my favorite film of the year so far is Into the Spider-Verse. Mm-hmm. This is the first time we were just talking about too many cooks. That doesn't always necessarily mean the answer is one cook. Because there was a 3-headed Hydra for Into the Spider-Verse that apparently all had very different jobs and did a very good job at editing each other. Right. They were the example I just read today was for all the billion cameos, the Legos in it, all the different styles, all the different cartoons, live action. There was going to be a kid's hand holding like a Toy Biz toy, which is an adorable concept, and it would have looked like shit in my opinion. I feel like there was. One director was probably fucking hard over like, what, I'm a genius, I'm the smartest person ever, and his 2 other directors were like, oh, Charlie, that's a shitty idea.
But like, imagine, like the most passive aggressive way.
What a great bad idea.
That's lame.
There is something, Sarge. We only count as the brothers review.
Sargento. What's up, Sarge? Thanks for joining us, brother.
The thing I ran into with this is if I never heard them say, this was originally a Star Wars pitch, and if I never heard Zack Snyder be like, for 12 years, he's pulled a Lucas. Yeah. And admittedly, Zack Snyder did add a clarifier. He said elements of this have been in his head but like of course they have because I'm for 40
I've got fucking 24 of them right now.
For almost 40 years I've had ideas that's not.
I've got a pitch for the Barbie sequel. Like you're not doing anything fucking special.
It's literally not as bad as if he were to pretend that he's been waiting to make this for 20 years. Like, because that's the lie. That's the George Lucas thing. Like, where it's like, I have this
I knew they were brother and sister. Sure you did, George.
Already people are saying, like, this is going to be Netflix's, like, huge franchise. What they should have done, the same way, like, Fubar took me by surprise, which normally I don't think I would have given a fuck about, or Extraction 2 was like, that. I don't remember the fucking first one. And it was, like, kind of meh. It was mid.
That has to do, though, Charlie, with Netflix.
The machine?
Lack of promotion stuff, which is funny because like you turn on Netflix, you're watching what they want you to watch for the first however many seconds, so you get back to like, no, I'm gonna watch this same shit 20 times. You know what's a good example of that, of the opposite thought, is The Old Guard.
Yeah.
The Old Guard is a fun fucking watch, and people usually are like, oh shit, that's right, and that's also getting a sequel. But Netflix is just bad at spreading the word elsewhere other than Netflix itself.
But I also think he can't help himself. I think as a creative, he doesn't, and he didn't No, Leonardo, Extraction 2 was fucking awesome. I don't remember Extraction 1. So, I probably called it mid just now, but the truth is I just don't fucking remember.
Wait, it was mid? What do you mean?
The first Extraction didn't resonate with me at all. Nothing stuck in my head.
Oh.
Whereas
I liked
Extraction 2, there's these amazing action beats that I feel like are going to have... When I think of Extraction now, I think of some of the beats in 2.
Extraction, the first Extraction for me caught me off guard because I had personally, and this is obviously just a personal thing, I pigeonholed Helmsworth as like he's an over the top. Oh, get it? I'm big and I'm tall. I'm handsome, so I'm gonna be a little goofy. Even his Thor got goofy. So I was not prepared. I'm like, yo, motherfucker can play a badass with the best of them. And even that little accent isn't going to throw me off.
I have to admit, I did see Extraction.
I really like I like both of them.
Extraction 1 I saw after 2016 Ghostbusters, so he was dead to me. Like, I barely like fucking Thor as it is.
He done hurt you.
Let alone am I going to let him make me sore. Leonardo, is the first Extraction good? Let us know, just so the people know, because I might be being wildly unfair.
Hell yeah, it was good.
But here's, I don't know if I trust you. I want to hear from Leonardo.
So I gotta slap you again?
Yeah, probably.
We're already 2 slaps in. This is a short show.
I'm going for 4. John, I have a big issue with this film, though.
From the trailer or from the behind the scenes? Or from the concept?
From the bullshit vignette.
All right.
Because know what I didn't see? A 300 style action sequence with laser swords. You fucking asshole. I'm not even kidding. You fucking dick. You're going to reduce it to a knockoff Jason Momoa with hammers, you prick? Laser swords, 300. I want someone to get kicked into a fucking hole. If you can read, John, they've remade Magnificent Seven 43 fucking times, and 41 of them are Gucci. Like, 41 of them are great. I've been trying to be young today. Have you noticed? Like, it's not. I don't think it's getting over.
Charlie's like 100.
First of all, I talk way lower than that, you piece of shit. No, for me, I haven't seen Snake Island yet. Have you seen Snake Island? What the fuck is Snake Island?
I have not seen.
Is that
Snake
a Netflix
Island
thing?
Yet.
Give us the deets.
Yeah, let us know.
Leonardo's about to get an invite to the show because I need
back
him.
at my mother's house.
Yeah,
I need something to do, please.
For me, it's like he is not only is Snyder not only is he not just letting his shit speak for itself, he's still doing background vignettes where I see him doing the director thing wrong, where in this one he had the 2 hammers, and he was like, it's going to be this cool action thing. I know that's how direction works. I don't like that it's in all of his vignettes now. Ever since the Batman gloves, and he's like, yeah, you're going to punch him like this. But like, shut the fuck up, Zack Snyder. You're a dweeb,
I think what
and
he's
you're not the right
is,
type of dweeb.
He's trying to show he's like, oh, I'm a fan. He's trying to become relatable.
Sure, he can eat my butt.
Or, Charlie, that might be legitimate, because there have been super fans of other stuff that's like outside of my purview, where I'm like, you fucking geek, and like I go right back to playing my superpowers. So I think some of it has to do also, if Zack Snyder did a Ghostbusters movie, and he did not fuck with any of
I would punch him in the throat.
But
also,
what if it was the best Ghostbusters?
No, I would punch him in the throat if he wasn't like caught on set. Being like,
I see, yeah.
Because though they wrote Ghostbusters 3 like with the toys on the floor in the office, and I think that's adorable because I'm a fan. Cute. John, I what troubles me is I think Zack Snyder has forgotten who he is. In as much as what brought him to the dance, he got made fun of for a little while. Like slow motion, glistening muscles.
Yeah.
Bro, I am all for... let me make this clear, because it sounds like I'm fucking rooting against him. No one's rooting for him more, because I love 300. I really like, what was that bullshit one he did with, like, they were schoolgirls in, like, a VR? It was like they were in their own head. Not VR, but it'll come to you. Sucker Punch. I like Sucker Punch. Flawed fucking movie, but, like, John, I don't need everything to be classically good? What am I?
An artist.
Boring? Am I a boring person who needs everything to be like fucking top quality? Yeah, Spider-Head and 12 Stronger, sick.
Yeah. You're right.
For me, what I've seen so far, and maybe it's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
What I've seen so far is another film that's trying to be an epic. That's trying to be like this thing. It's not letting itself breathe. Because I already have Dune 2 coming out. So I love Dune 1, and I'm not this guy who like was well versed on the book. I'm not even well versed on the first.
I'm trying to agree with you.
That was the softest slap. And yet it's warm enough in this office that it was like
Joker stream, jumping.
Yeah,
dude, you could come in late. You can come in early.
Ew.
I stand by it. It's
Fair
fine.
enough.
It's fine. Joker, glad to have you, brother.
But you know what? Leonardo's bringing up a good point because again he brought up a couple of Chris Hemsworth flicks that I do enjoy because I don't. The truth is, here's the fucking secret origin. Even stupid George Lucas, nothing would make me fucking happier.
He's stupid.
Look, he's a dick and he's rich. Nothing would make me happy if George Lucas was like, I made a new thing and it's fucking
Fern Gully.
Tits McGillicuddy.
Oh.
Fern Gully, the next generation. Let's go. There is no one that I don't want them. It's so fucking counterproductive to be like, I don't want them to make me happy with entertainment. I want them all to make shit for me.
Or they're like, entertain me, I dare
well, I
you.
do that.
How stupid.
I do that a lot because
stupid.
Because but there was like 2 years where I saw every movie that went to theaters.
Sure.
And
they
Pacific
say,
Rim 2 really pushed that fucking to the edge.
They say, Charlie, like, keep being stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
I got all the monies. What's interesting to me, though, Charlie, is that it's not so much that they're trying to make the same movies. It's that they're trying to make specifically franchises. And a franchise and just a dope-ass flick, sometimes that Venn diagram overlaps. Sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it's not even really a proper movie in the sense that it has a beginning, middle, and end. They have like a to be continued.
Yeah.
Well, then you didn't tell me the whole story. So I'll put it to you in these terms. Had A New Hope not been a closed story for you, it wouldn't really make a difference that there was more... Charles is drooling like a motherfucker.
That was a dribble, not a drool.
It wouldn't matter that there was so much more meat on that proverbial bone. And the problem though is with like some of these entries. Again, we'll stay in the Netflix world. The Old Guard absolutely was that model. They're like, look, here's a great fucking movie, and the fact that we can go on and tell you more of that story within a universe works perfectly.
The new edict.
That's how it should work.
The new edict in Hollywood.
Let me do the script.
Let John do. Well, we'll find out that in the next segment. But I think more people should borrow from the John Wick model. And as if a studio, asks you for 3, you tell the last John Wick film. They were like, just promise us you're gonna do 2 more, and they were like, fuck yourselves, we're gonna do 1 more because every idea we have.
John Wick is the epitome.
Don't be sarcastic.
Control.
You dick.
And creative.
Excuse me. Give credit where credit's due. They could have fucking cashed 2 checks, and they chose 1 giant 3-hour epic that honestly, the second wave of the stairs, I was tired for.
It is currently 9 p.m. on the dot, Eastern Standard Time, on the day of our Lord, July 5th. With the day, not the episode that comes up afterwards, but the day that they announced John Wick 5, I want a complete legal retraction.
No, there's no retraction.
No?
There's no retraction because them doing another movie is not the fucking same as planning a part 1, part 2.
But what if they plan? Oh, you mean back day
What
one?
I'm saying is the next Mission Impossible, frankly, and I don't want to hurt you because we're having a good time. I don't like that Dead Reckoning is in 2 fucking parts. Why don't you just give me a 3 hour? Because I'll sit through a 4 fucking hour movie because I'm not a loser.
Listen, don't try to show up for the Joker, okay? If a story is too large and it's a single story, it is less than hack to just cut it in the middle and we'll make 2 movies out of it. It is fucking Bush League to do so. So I'm saying this.
What are you You're
I'm calling
making my point.
Nope, I'm calling.
You think
my
Dead
fucking
Reckoning is
shot.
a proper finale?
Dead Reckoning might be called Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Part 2.
Great title.
Agreed. However, I would argue that the story is so big that it had to be planned and shot.
Oh my god,
as two
this is such
individual
bullshit.
movies.
This is such. You're so biased.
What evidence do you have?
The fact that
the
Dead
people-
Reckoning Part 1's a shit title.
Excuse me. The fact that even the worst of the Mission Impossible movies still gives you a fucking grin ear to ear.
No,
your
because- yes,
fucking
of course.
admission.
John.
So why
John,
would you not?
Why
think
not
that
just
they
make two
know what
fucking?
they're doing?
Because John, it's Empire didn't need to be called Empire Part 1. And did that not end in the middle of an overarching story?
But
I'm
the
not
entire-
asking you for semantics.
No,
I'm
no.
asking. This
But
is
you're-
fucking
but
horse
I'm
shit.
gonna prove your point wrong because it was called Star Wars. Every movie Star Wars Part 1, Part 2, Part. I mean, obviously the
originally it
numbers,
was
whatever.
Star Wars.
Oh fucking
... nothing.
So each
Then it was suddenly
chapter-
Part 3.
Each chapter within the Star Wars saga had to have its own fucking title because it did tell its own individual story within. So the fact that Dead Reckoning is called Part 1 and Part 2, your fucking buddy Vin Diesel doesn't know how to name movies either. Doesn't keep you out of the theater.
Well, that's because I'm a glutton for punishment. Let's get this then. Let's get this.
Yeah.
Will you come on this fucking show if Dead Reckoning ends in the middle of a fucking story? If Dead Reckoning Part 1 doesn't have a beginning, middle, end to an individual story that just ties in, like the 50 fucking movies that were awesome but preceded it, will you come on the show and fucking say you were wrong?
Of course I will, but what I'm going to ask you is this question, and I'll ask you this question now.
You already
I
said
don't
yes,
have to
though. It
wait.
wasn't conditional
No,
on me
I'm
doing
in.
anything
I'm
good.
in. What reason other than fucking pure saltiness do you have to think? Okay, well this is an organization that has really a flawless track record with me personally.
Me as well. I defend
I'm talking about you.
Mission Impossible 2.
So if they have a flawless track record and they say we're gonna do this, what reason would you have to think that's a mistake?
Because it is
Hubris! It's hubris!
No, because
Only.
because it's fucking buying into Ellis. Yes, like fucking Dune, they should have dropped a 7-hour movie. And if you're such a fucking baby, if you are such a baby, America, no. If the film going community,
Charlie, day after our birthday,
you let artists be fucking artists. If Dune is such a big story that it needs to be told in 7 fucking hours, I'm an adult. Give me a fucking intermission and a thing of Skittles. Let's go.
Do you want to know the reason why?
Tell me.
Money, please.
Well, but fuck the suits. But fuck the suits. So which is it? Is Mission Impossible with your personal Lord and Savior Tom Cruise? Just kidding, God. Nice. If it turns out just being a cash grab,
Yeah.
for the chase of the fucking dollar, you will come on the show and you will acknowledge that.
Of course
That'll
I
be
will.
part of
And
your
you
review.
know what though? It'll
Fair.
be preceded by I am so fucking disappointed by Maverick because this was and Tom Cruise does have a lot of control over that narrative that's being told there. But yeah, you know what? Lord of the Rings is a good example. Dune is obviously another example. Properly, if I had my druthers, I would say, yeah, tell me because I do love Dune the book, and I love the original too for
what it
different
is,
reasons.
Yeah, it's fun.
If I had my druthers,
Fun
Dune
is the wrong description.
Dune would be a season or 2 of TV, especially now with premium television programs being what they are. I would say that's the best way to do Dune because the chapters are not necessarily 2 hours and change little segments, but like more like okay, next week's Adventures of Dune. That'd be just fine with me. I would sign up for that. I have another franchise that I would do that with in a fucking heartbeat.
Which?
The Dark Tower.
Yeah.
The Dark Tower by Stephen King. Its finest form naturally is in the book form, but barring that, it would be a perfect long form hour of television, maybe 3, 4, 5 seasons, depending on which particulars you want to jump into.
The one exception to this rule I'll make is if we want to go fucking one step better than Quentin did with part 1 and part 2 of fucking The Bride, series.
No feet, please, man.
No feet. I will also allow movies that want to do this part 1, part 2 bullshit.
Yeah.
I need it the next month then. You get one.
you
Your
want
part 1
them?
gets 1 month in the fucking
You
theater.
want to
and
digest
then,
it?
Yep, and I need it soon, asshole.
Okay.
And you know why?
Well, with
because I believe in freedom. I believe in fairness. And I believe in our Lord and Savior, Peter Venkman. My final thought before I give it to you, very simply, is I am rooting for this fucking movie. They have so far done themselves no favor because my excitement to watch this movie that I'll definitely watch because it's free is nearly fucking zero. But you pay for Netflix, thus I must use it. You use it, or you lose it.
That's true.
That is the rule.
I am a fan of sci-fi. I will watch great sci-fi that I cannot wait for. I will watch mediocre sci-fi. I will watch duty sci-fi because it's something to talk about. It's entertaining. Even again, the bad versions are still entertaining. Yeah. So I'm going to be there for it. Absolutely.
Are you also going to be there for us to fucking pay bills? Because these lights don't come cheap.
All of these lights.
I have to pay extra.
My white hairs are fucking iridescent in this light. It is unbelievable.
To give
you also, there's several questionable blood stains. I'm assuming it's blood. A lot of chalk outlines in here. Yeah. I don't know what goes on in this fucking thing.
There is the simple fact is we've done a bunch of shows from my studio.
Sure.
When I first saw you this weekend, when you got home, I was like, I thought his hair was whiter. Because I had edited the episode, and it's just like, you're not nearly as gray in real life as you are on camera.
Looking like fucking Steve Martin up in this
Somewhere in the attic, there's a painting of you that's fucking young as sits.
Oh, yeah.
And I've zapped it out of you.
Just a unibrow, just fucking skinny as shit.
John, do you play any, like, video games on your tablets? Like one that are like any freemium games where like you buy it for free and then you spend $200-$300 a month.
I have plenty. Fucking the
zombie game, yeah.
The zombie game.
Out of curiosity, has an advertisement on a shitty podcast or YouTube show or Twitch channel ever made you go like, I'm gonna check out Legend Friends? Has one time that influenced you?
I mean, my memory is pretty shocked. I'm also as well as very old.
And that's why the zero fucking companies that reach out and try to get a sponsorship, I tell them to go fuck themselves because we're not like other pods who sell up
what
for
are
some.
You doing?
We're not like other pods that are just fucking selling out for any brand willing to throw them a couple bucks. No, today we are once again brought to you by one of our absolute favorite bands, Bad Mary. You heard them during the intro. You're going to hear them again at the end of the show. If you're wondering where else you can catch their act, you can follow them over at Bad Mary Band across all social media platforms. You can support them over on patreon.com/Bad Mary. You can stay up to date. BadMary.com for merch and upcoming performances. But my favorite part is their entire discography is available on all music streaming services. Also, as well as they always have these patches in stock. And I really do love this patch design.
Yep. You're not kidding, man. But that also begs the question, Charlie. Where we dropping? And the answer is with Sergeant Finesse. You can find him currently gaming still for only a few days. I feel like
countdown's on.
The Crazy Eddie shit. Stop it now! Go over to Facebook now to see the stars.
You know that was a scam?
Yeah, I know. He's fucking. He's not even still in jail. I think he's dead now. But you can. You
killed Crazy Eddie.
Somebody did. Find him currently as a gaming partner on Facebook, but he's spending more and more time on Kick.com. Still multiple streams every day, though. Outstanding video game content, supporter games, co-streams, giveaways, contests. Don't be a sucker. Check him out today. While you're at it, go over to the Twitter box or stay on Kick.com and check out our buddy Jokers_stream. My man rips it up. He is literally the best fucking Fortnite gamer I have ever seen. And the fact that he does it more times than not in fucking TV movie quality cosplay. My man looks like he's fucking auditioning for the next DC or Marvel movie half the time. Just an awesome streamer, great fucking guy. Spreads the word about this stupid little podcast all the time.
I'm Team Bats.
The least we can do. Bats is no joke, man.
Bats is my boy, Blue.
Just because, is it better, Charlie, to be feared or loved? That's the question that they ask you in Bronx Tale, the musical, currently in rehearsals over in Oakdale, Long Island, New York.
Starring this son of a bitch.
Well, I'm in there. But just absolutely, we gotta love those Love those sponsors. Please.
Know who else
be
I
your
love
best
though?
supporter.
I love us. So this weekend you can catch me and my Ghostbuster crew at EternalCon over by Hofstra University. It's in their sportsatorium. You can find that information over on LI Ghostbusters anywhere on social media. Also, as well as for the Cystic Fibrosis Association of Brookhaven, we're raising money and giving away a Proton Pack. A $10 minimum donation gets you a raffle ticket. That raffle ticket can have you walk away with a Proton Pack. I checked today on eBay.
That thing is fucking rad.
One just sold a few days ago for $1,100. The pack and wand. $1,100. You
Are
cannot,
these the tickets?
you get oh thank God. You can reach out to us on social media, LI Ghostbusters. Also, 2 weeks from now for the drawing, July 22nd, we're doing a free mini-con. Exclusively the whole show is to raise money, but it is free entry. You can get those
nice.
details at LI Ghostbusters anywhere on social media as well. There's gonna be, as long as the weather is good, there's of course gonna be the Ecto LI or the Ecto Fun or the Ecto Juan, as you call it. Kit might be showing up. A Batmobile might be showing up. These are totally free. We also got celebrities, including just announced Sarah from The Crow is going to be there.
Oh, wow.
And I am legitimately,
Will her skateboard be there?
I'm so nervous because I'm desperate to meet her. I'm desperate to meet her.
Is the order of protection still
No,
up, or-
no, yeah, it ran out.
Sarah, be careful, kid.
It ran out.
Be very careful.
John, most importantly, though, I got a new job. I left my old job. I am now a high-paid executive. And it is fucking time, bro, because, can you hit that button for me?
Excuse me, sir. You're
Top
looking...
floor, please, bitch.
Oh, damn. It's gonna be one of those already. Shit. I do...
Look how big my knot is. I am very powerful.
That's an executive knot if I've ever seen one. So, I do like to be that guy that, if I naysay even in the softest of fucking terminology, if I'm not gonna go ahead and spit out a rebuttal, maybe you could have type of thing, then really I had no business speaking in the first place. But Charlie, Mr. Charlie, businessman, please hear me out as we are in this lovely and spacious elevator. Thank goodness, because I
Executive
don't
elevator.
do
How'd
well.
you get in here?
That's snuck in. Something like that. So,
Smart.
Charlie did indeed get a little glimpse of, had someone given me the keys to my beloved Indiana Jones fucking tent pole, I would have had thoughts. Now, I would have to say, Mr. Charlie, I realize that our beloved Harrison Ford is about 137 years old at this point, so we're gonna have some difficulty putting him up on screen, especially with the effects that are sometimes needed. He's got to move occasionally. Callista Flockhart is not Flockhart is not always available.
We call her.
But that being said, Charlie, Mr. Charlie.
Thank
we
you.
are in an age where animation
Yes.
is at its absolute zenith. So I would like to offer up to you, for your enjoyment and potential funding of said project, an animated Indiana Jones for the next generation.
Very smart.
Okay? We want to keep this fucking train rolling because I love Indiana Jones and I'm ready to commit to the motherfucker long term. No polyamorous bullshit over here. So, here we go. Yes, Ellis, I got one for you. All right, so picture this: animation style. We are in the under the fucking roofs of Disney, who's the animation undisputed king. Honestly, I don't really care if you want to do it in the Pixar style, if you want to do it the way the Spider-Verse is doing stuff, if you want to do it like a Disney fun animation. Doesn't make a difference to me because we have the voice talents to sell it. So here's our animated Indiana Jones next offering. Harumph. I'm going to paraphrase here, but I do want this to be verbatim. So, working title: Indiana Jones and the Final MacGuffin. All right. So,
Humor. Movie humor.
so
The boys in the office will love that one.
Taha. We open on a crystal clear image of a mountain range with a predominant center mountain which resembles, but is not, the Paramount logo for legal reasons that do not need to be spoken about here. The image flickers though, and then it defocuses into a staticky digital version behind glass. Then we get another refocus so that we can see Indiana Jones' reflection in the plate glass mirror of the electronics there that he is standing in front of as a news story plays. Little something that we didn't get in this last edition, but it is
Radio Shack action.
all right, so now they're actually playing a news story about how a plane crashed in these mountains. There were no survivors found. He just sighs, right? Maybe in a yesteryear scenario, he would have fucking fedora'd up right then, got the whip a cracking. No, he's like, that sucks, and then goes about his merry fucking way. So he just kind of moves on, right? He passes another TV in the store, actually playing. It's a little fucking cookie for me. The original Jeopardy, which used to be a daytime television competition show. He passes it. The original host Art Fleming. That's a Jeopardy question in and of itself. It's on. Indy casually answers the question correctly as he walks on by.
Genius action.
He is Indy. All right. So now we find Indy. Overall, he's in a contented place. He's come to terms with retirement, living a quiet life with Marion in their downtown New York City walk-up. Cue to Marion looking out her third floor window, looking at her man just fucking strolling down the block. Maybe he stops at a Middle Eastern fruit stand, plucks a few pieces of choice fruit for his lady, and he holds up what looks like an oversized raisin and says, "Are you sure these dates are good?" Call back. You gotta love that shit. So the guy's like, "Yeah, motherfucker, get out of here." Pays the guy, heads out the fucking door. But this is still Indy. At his core, it is still Indiana Jones, and we get little glimpses of that. Yeah, sure, he may look like a retired schlepper on the road, someone who you would let pass in the fucking crosswalk and takes his sweet ass fucking time when you're trying to get someplace in downtown New York City. But you still see that glimmer of Indy that is still there. He walks in through the gate, and maybe they got a little bit of old wire or a fucking knotted rope that you use for like around the house, and he just he casually gives a little whip action, closes the gate behind him. This is still Indiana Jones.
Love that.
Lest you not forget. So here shit's about to get real.
Oh, fuck.
This is the virginal Charlie ears. All right. We come to learn that in his retirement, Indy is still getting relatively regular attempts to lure him out of said retirement to go on like excursions with these would-be adventurers or treasure seekers. He's got a name, he's got a reputation, and now he has time. So you're gonna get jabrones, be like, "Hey, Indy, look, I know where..."
Don't ever touch me again.
Sorry about that, sir. I know where Atlantis is. I fucking know where Jimmy Hoffa's buried. Like, all... That timeline doesn't work out, but you know what I'm saying. Like, all...
I know where I'm gonna kill Jimmy Hoffa.
Stop me if you're there. So yeah, like, he's got all these offers on the table, and he's like, "Nah, I'm okay. We can, anyways. Get out of here, kid." But it's like a regular fucking thing, and Andy just answers in his normal side fucking smiling sardonic way, but in no uncertain terms, no, I'm done adventuring.
Or as Indy says,
Now what, sir? How dare you besmirching the? He supersedes you.
I'll allow that. I'll allow that.
So, now he gets the third floor of his the brownstone that he's with Marion. And he opens the door. "Oh, honey, I'm home." And Marion's there, and she kind of just like looks over to the formal living room. She's like, "We have guests." Now Indy, in his old man assumptive, he's like, "Fucking God, with these offers, I'm not gonna do it." And he kind of comes in. He's a little salty, but he's like, "Look, I told you people, I don't want to go do whatever." It's pretty good, Indy. I'm not gonna... Oh, sorry.
Disrespect.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, sir. I apologize. So he is really ready to fucking shut them down immediately, and they're having a little bit of a verbal altercation about it. Like, "Look, you don't understand. There's a situation." He's like, No, I'm not interested. This and the other thing. Then they flash some fucking tin. They're not just random would-be adventurers. These are officials. They actually are U.S. government officials. probably some people that you know, or at least were related to them. So, what he says is like, all right, well, I guess tell me what you got to tell me. They sit around the fucking kitchen table. It turns out, Charlie, that multiple ancient artifacts have been stolen from their private collectors.
Oh.
And they're like, oh no, this got stolen. Oh, the mask of fucking what's his face. Oh no, the shroud of this. The fucking the spear of that. And they were like, these seemingly seem to have no connection with one another, right? And he's like, yeah, no, I guess not. Don't do it. And they say
That'll allow because it was cartoonish.
there is actually one connection, Dr. Jones. You acquired all these pieces.
Oh.
And now my man starts putting two and two together.
Bum.
So he's like, oh shit, where did I read? Let me see that list again. So now he's kind of like doing one of these, got his glasses. And he's like, well, yeah, now that you say that, I did acquire all of these listed artifacts, but not for anything. I acquired maybe another 150 artifacts that are not on this list that were not stolen. And they said, well, you know what, that's great, but you still gotta come with us. We're gonna have a sit down. So there's people waiting for you to talk. So he's like, grumble, but effectively he gets taken into custody. Now the thing about it is he is salty as fuck. You thought he was a little bit. Sorry, sir. So you're calling the reinforcements already? Man, we got a security break. Third floor. So he's like, he's still salty about it. This doesn't make much sense. What are you guys doing? You're so dumb. Blah blah blah. And they're like, yo, oh man, you need to relax a little bit because this is now 1973, give or take.
Your hippy dippy bullshit's not gonna work here, Jones.
So yeah, so he's taken into custody. He's detained, really because he's become belligerent, and he's like, I don't get credit for the stuff that I find, but now you want to give me the blame when that shit gets thrown. That's your job. He's making some legitimate points. Okay, so at this point now he's at an NYPD station because like there are people that need to talk to him, but
You stole our horse that one time.
so he gets like kind of fucking like detained. He gets handcuffed to a chain at this point. Like, and you can break a bone at that age, but they don't fucking care. So, where the fuck was I? All right. So now he's been there for a minute. Like the people you need to talk to, they're coming. Just sit still, relax.
Just fucking relax,
Here's
old man.
You drink coffee all the day long. Do
you want a tab?
Here's some whatever.
I don't know what times things
Tab,
are
yeah,
invented.
it's close enough. This one on Pepsi free. Hey kid, if you want a Pepsi, you have to pay for it. So he's
Time is money. Get back to you, bitch.
You're right. I apologize. So he's sitting there, and he's an old man. Not everybody knows his resume. So he's kind of like unattended every once in a while, and it's a busy New York City fucking station. So there's plenty of people around, unbeknownst to our boys in blue. There's like a kid is kind of like a child is kind of like swerving and fucking pulling an Aladdin, and he's like making his way through the crowd, and he makes his way over to where Indy is kept, slips him a paperclip, like hand to hand. He's like, oh, that's right. He fucking pulled a Salo with the papers from fucking Raiders. Indy knows what to do with it. He's like, he fucking gets his one handcuff open, and now he is fucking out. So I want you to think of the Indy escape from the police station, similar to Neo's escape from the office.
Fuck yes.
In Matrix. He's like, but he's just doing it himself. He's like, all right, go here, duck down behind the filing cabinet, like some real old man Indiana Jones said. Again, this is animated. In my head, I see it. Might just be because of my affinity for Spider-Verse stuff. But in that style, it would be amazing. I also wouldn't have an issue if the art style changed depending on what the fuck was going on. It became more classical in some bits, became like esoteric in others. Whatever the case might be, I'm okay with it. Just make my movie. All right. So now
We'll see, kid. We'll see.
he finally gets himself to the door. And the cops out there, they're like, this is an old man. Like, they're not even paying him any attention. He's on their pay no mind list, as it were. So he gets outside. He goes down the steps. He sees idling at the curb our man Sala in a straight up NY fucking C, a yellow cab. He's like, hey,
Beautiful.
So he's sitting there.
The most subtle guy in any film ever.
Yeah, all the guy wearing the fez. No,
Oh,
I
Indy,
didn't know
you
that.
escaped,
Like,
dog!
if you weren't escaping, I'm here for you, my friend. So he's ready to go.
Fucking Sala for president.
He's smiling and waving. Now inside, because you can't just follow one character.
Yeah.
So now inside the U.S. agents are just realizing what happened, and an absolute Blues Brothers bullet French Connection type car chase ensues on the city of New York. We finally give our man Salah something to do in this next level of indie adventures, and he fucking takes off like a bat out of hell. He's got the fucking taxi cab up on 2 wheels, just an absolute tits out car chase through 1970s NYC.
Did they invent that ball they used to put on steering wheels? Can he have one of those? I just feel like visually that'd be amazing.
If it gets my movie made,
Fair
absolutely,
enough.
he could be driving with his balls, and I'm gonna say, yeah, no problem, you got it, buddy. Now, here's the thing. Indy, even though he's like holding onto the oh shit handle for dear life, he knows what the actual common thread is with all of those artifacts. Because he still has the sheet. That's the one thing he palmed and brought with him. It's not just that he acquired these particular artifacts for private collections. It's not just that he did those things, because like he said, he had done those things with other artifacts as well, including the fucking Lost Ark and the Holy Grail and all kinds of crazy shit. Charlie, it's that he did it with the assistance of a certain sidekick named Juan Lee. A lot of you motherfuckers are looking for my boy Short Round in these new movie, but you don't know his real name is Juan Lee. It's Juan Lee. So
Shut
voiced
the fuck
by
up.
Oscar winner himself, Ke Huy Quan. I think that's
Correct.
right. My man, he's
Queen, we got a pitch, baby!
so he's like, fuck, man, I got these with Short Round. Like, this is in effect, this is our
That Yankee loving son of a bitch.
our team resume. What the fuck is this? So he really, like, he's putting 2 and 2 together. Maybe have a little like mental flashback, whatever the case might be. That's up for debate. But he realizes a few things now. There's an issue with Short Round. Maybe he's in danger. Maybe he's broke bad. He doesn't really know. He hasn't spoken to him in forever. Motherfucker hadn't talked to his goddaughter in God knows how long, even though she, since we was shorter than him, which was probably only about 6. But he now he's a little worried, but also as well as he's in deep shit.
Yeah.
Not only is he the suspect,
He now escaped custody.
he's also now a fucking escapee. Exactly. He doesn't even have a fez to hide under. So he realizes, okay, so I gotta clear my name. I gotta see what the fuck is going on with Short Round, and if there's still time on the agenda, I want to get my shit back, man. Not getting none of those things was particularly easy. This is some bullshit, right? So,
this is my floor. Make it quick, son.
oh, we slid all the way back down to the lobby because I got a lot of more for you, sucker. A lot of more. You can call me B.A. Baracus. So here we are. And he realizes that the only way to really clear his name and get his shit back, he has to go to the new owner of the only artifact that is not on that shared list.
Okay, so
He's
there's
like,
only
this
one
and
that
this
got
and
away
this. He's
without
like, hey,
Short
wait a
Round.
minute. This one fucking thing is missing. So what does he do? He does his indie shit and he starts like looking around, and he realizes that the one item, Charlie, that's missing is the heirloom seal of the realm. Which, if you don't know, and none of you know,
none of us fucking have a
none of
clue.
you know, and the Crystal Skull. Yeah, you're right, Joker. I'm sorry. But those are off in space now, so he can get those back if he wanted. So the heirloom seal of the realm, and you guys are free to look this up. It's a jade carving, literal seal, but it's beautiful. Like, it's beautiful to look at, and it was passed from emperor to emperor in China, closing out one dynasty and beginning a new one. It's thousands of years old, and they used it for thousands of years. And it was actually only accessible to the one true sovereign. It was lost somewhere between the 10th and the 14th century. So you can imagine that's a son of a bitch that's going to be hard to find. Again, if you guys want to fact check me, it's at this point now, history is basically most valuable missing ancient artifact to this day. But now he's like, fuck, I gotta go find it. Slap me later. So Indy goes back to the black market broker that tells him the original owner, who was a museum curator, so it was like still on the up and up while not being exactly up and up, but those are different days now. He's like, look, that original owner, he sold it to this guy. He's like a younger guy, Hugo somebody. Hugo. He's a doctor. I apologize. Dr. Hugo Belog. That's right. Fucking Dr. Renee Bellog's son has gone, who is also voiced by Vincent Castle, I might remind you.
Beautiful.
He's the most infamous black market dealer right now going in this area. He's a big fucking dealer. He's like, look, that's who has it. Like, if he has it, let him keep it, Indy. You're about 112 years old. I don't know if you got another one in you. So Indy's like, fuck. So now what we're going to get, picture it big on the screen, we get an Indy red line map effect showing him taking a train uptown Manhattan. Little something for you. Expected to go across oceans. Nope. Just went from fucking downtown New York all the way uptown, maybe on the red line. Was there a red line back then? I'm not sure. Maybe definitely a yellow line. Loose, yeah. But again, it's a train map. We're gonna actually see a little something different but fun, nonetheless. So what's gonna happen? Train line. All right. So he's headed now to the multi-story penthouse apartment of fucking Hugo Belog, Dr. Hugo Belog, if you're nasty, and he's got to solve these like modern security measures, modern for 1973. So you have Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones has got to doing Indiana Jones shit, but in a non-ancient artifact fucking kind of way. So he's doing what he's got to do, right? And then he's like, but again, these are modern versions of like the keeping out of the sunshine, or you get fucking darts to the face, or spelling Jehovah right, or you fall to the floor. Like these are clearly designed like modern day booby traps, because again, Belloc fucking was down like that. He learned that shit from his father, along with his taste in women, and carrying around a dress for some reason. What the fuck, Belloc? What's going on, really? So, anyways, so here he is.
Belloc likes the party tonight.
He's like, it fits me, so I think it should fit you. No problem, Marianne. So here we go, and now he's doing what he's got to do. He gets there. He gets Charlie into the fucking apartment. Unbelievable. Hello. Seems like there's nobody there. Tip, tap, tap, tap. He fucking goes to the private offices of Renee, and he realizes, I'm not alone. He comes face to fucking face with our boy Short Round, who's now not quite so. Yeah, he learned a lot of other things too, I'm sure. He comes face to back of Short Round, who's like clearly about to help himself to this fucking famous lost seal that they got together those many years ago, and he gives him a real quick fortune and glory, huh, kid? And my man just like kind of slow, no sells it, turns around, is like, fortune and glory, Dr. Jones. Now the two exchange words. We'll work on the dialogue later. Short Round is asking if Indy is here for the seal. Indy responds, no, I'm here for you. And then together, kind of there's a little bit of bullshit there. So then together they both like make a quick grab for the seal. Indy trying to stop him from taking the seal because they know there's going to be issue. And Short Round's like, I haven't seen this motherfucker in forever. I need to get got. So they both end up with the seal, and the seal is pretty big. Like it's a square version of this. Yeah. Because again, they used to use it and seal important fucking official documents and stuff like that for thousands.
Yeah,
of years.
None of us know. We'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Look me up though. Back me up. So they both go for it. It fucking gets jostled off of the little pedestal.
Oh, is that pedestal sinking?
That pedestal starts.
Yay!
Like, hey, no, the fucking alarm lights go off. Oh, fuck, we gotta get out of here. But don't forget those modern day booby traps just in like the hallway leading up to the apartment. Charlie, the inside is like fucking, think of Kevin's house in Home Alone. They're like paint cans swinging and
amazing.
With fucking broken glass. Like it is fucked up. But now the alarms are sounding. Charlie, there were plenty of guards on location. Like, oh shit, we got to go goon it up. Something's happening to the boss's shit right now.
Finally, white goons.
I know, you don't have to dress up like Renee Belloc, but it would not fucking hurt. Oh, rats and the German blonde girl. I would live Joker through those rats, no problem at all. So here we go. Now
John's gone through rats to get to blonde girls before.
Some blonde girls that were indeed rats themselves. So I'm open to whatever. So here we are again. They take off. They're fucking ducking and dodging the booby traps together, just like the old days. Blah blah blah. So the goons are chasing. Now here's the thing, Charlie, goons only go as far as Goon College, which is like a 2-year.
That's true.
It's a certificate degree. So like, so the fucking goons are catching the
It's like
darts.
being a nurse, but not an RN.
The goons are stepping on the wrong tiles. The goons are getting fucking done up by my man Renee's house of fucking horrors. And Indy and Short Round are just fucking hustling butts to get the fuck out of there. So the goons are left behind them, and there's plenty of whip action going on right now, lest you be concerned.
I was concerned. I felt like not enough hat.
So let me go ahead and go. Oh yeah, we slid back down to the lobby. That's outstanding. They do escape, and they realize, fuck, we need to not just get out of the city. Charlie, this is a national issue. We need to get out of the states. So now we're gonna go ahead. Together, they make their way to the Philippines because why? Short Round has his HQ there, so we get a proper red line fucking map flying across the fucking the Atlantic. They notice that, so Indy's like, oh, you like maybe have like a fucking hut, or you know, is there like a giant storage facility someplace? And my man Short Round's like, no, I'm a professor at the largest university here in the Philippines, which is part of the States, and that's where we're gonna go. So he goes to, like, he's like, oh no, this is great, and all the security there, and then I'm like, hey, good to see you again, Professor Short Round, and so they make their way to his, and he's got a lecture hall. Like, imagine the fucking the biggest lecture hall where Indy meets with the U.S. agents for the first time. He has a version of that, but in the Philippines. So everything's made out of bamboo and shit, but it's great. So he still has the big sliding fucking chalk boards and stuff like that. He slides them all, and now you see like this protected, gated fucking little storage area. All the missing items, Charlie, are there.
Amazing.
So it was 100% Short Round stealing back that shit, and now the seal is just really the cherry on the top of that sundae. Outstanding.
Enter Vin Diesel.
Oh, these artifacts are family. So Indy's like, oh fuck me, Jesus Christ, and so whatever. So now look, they're talking. He's like, look, all this stuff is outstanding, and on a certain level, I'm glad that you reacquired it, right? I'm not mad about it. But Short Round is like, listen, old timer, you gotta understand this seal is not just an artifact, right? This seal, there are countries, and this is true, countries that are willing to go to war over this fucking seal. And again, this is 200% true. Like, thousands of lives are at stake. This isn't one of those situations where, like, well, Bob would be angry, he took his pig and fucking his cow was fucking his wife, and no, like, this is war on a global fucking scale. Multiple countries would be fighting over this thing in reality. So he's like, what is he saying? Protected by. He's like, this needs to be protected above all else. Like, the most important shit, even compared to some of the biggest things on your resume, because that's old. This is now, right? This is thousands of years old, but this has meaning now.
Yeah.
Okay. We come to learn that he's been guarding over the other items. He had no intention of selling them off or whatever. He's just like, no, this shit lives here now. So, being aware of Short Round's exploits, though he was narked. Short Round was narked to the foreign governments around the world. So now they're like, okay, we're out of the States, we're in the clear. Wrong, because my man fucking Renee Belloc's goofy kid is a douchebag and a sore loser, like all of them seem to be. He desperately wants the seal, and he had it at one point. Don't forget, he 100% was going to sell that shit. So upon their landing, the boys really have almost immediately attempts by multiple governments fucking trying to hunt them down. And we can distinguish them between like armbands or uniform types or whatever the fuck. And that's going to end up resulting in one multi-party chase through the jungles of the Philippines. Maybe, fuck yes. If we can get the rights to it, yakety sax, I say do it. Maybe even the Sierra Madre Mountains, because that's the largest jungle. They end up, they do their thing, the whipping and fucking sliding and hat turning backwards and all that shit. They end up at a large U.S. military base, which, again, look it up. There are plenty of them. So they end up at this U.S. military base, and they're like, as they're escaping, like, oh, now all of a sudden, like, Americans, we're fucking American citizens, and the U.S. Army takes them in, and naturally the other ones fuck off because they watch Succession, and they're immediately brought to the base commander, who happens to be a familiar animated, albeit face, Colonel Eaton. Now, Colonel Eaton, Charlie.
Is he eating good?
Well, you know what? When your nickname is Porkins,
Nice!
you are eating good in the neighborhood.
Beautiful.
Because he and Indy had formerly met when Eaton was just a major, and together he, with Colonel Musgrove, those were the two gentlemen that went to speak to Indy the first time in Raiders when they were talking about the Ark of the Covenant. Now we have a familiar face. It's like, look, Indy, you and I, we go back a long way. I understand.
We cool.
We cool, son. So it's actually Eaton, who's like I love that it's Eaton. This man, the fat bastard can't get away with anything. So he inquires about Ravenwood and Tanis, and he hears all about the fucking dilemma. He says, you know what, I got you, bro. I'll make a couple of calls. Don't worry about that issue that you're having in the States. It's squashed. I know you. You good. You know, your dossier speaks for itself. So now there is still that aftermath. The two guys play catch up. They reconnect in a way that only, I'm talking about Short Round and Indy. Now they finally have a quiet moment together, and they're fucking kind of shooting the shit the way that only brother in arms can. And though their roles seem to have been at odds with one another, they agree that the smartest thing to do with all of this heat on this one particular object is what, Charlie? Not to destroy it. It's to return the seal to the place they found it originally and let fate decide if it ends up in the hands of its rightful owner, quote unquote, like everybody seems to want to be, or no one ever comes across it and it stays lost to time.
A reverse heist.
So it's a reverse heist. So the problem is they found it in Vietnam. Okay? The Vietnam War just ended. This is around 73, 74.
Okay.
Not quite 75. So there's still some American presence, but the U.S. is out of the war, technically. So this is in effect, a war zone. And who are you going to get to take you with a smile on your face into a fucking active war zone? Man, the only pilot that's willing to fly Indy and Short Round into a
Mike Williams.
Jack Lindsay. Jack Lindsay, my man who flew
Amazing.
Indy. You might remember his pet snake, Reggie.
Yes.
Maybe? So he's like, yeah, Indy, I got you. They fucking connect. He shows up with his fucking plane.
This is a celebration of this franchise.
I know. So you cut to the exterior of the plane, and then he's like, hey, man, whatever happened to Reggie? Ah! Reggie's still up in that motherfucker. Now the final action beats. Okay, we're still good. The final action beats, Charlie, come as they evade North Vietnamese troops and work their way back to a hidden temple. Belog, in the meantime, Belog is still on their fucking tail, right? And so it's like Belog and new goons, chasing Indian Short
Alive
Round,
goons.
and the fucking North Vietnamese chasing everybody. You get a little fucking turnabout is fair play. They disable Belog's vehicle and they stop, and he starts spitting because like this motherfucker thinks he's like he can get away with everything because he really has up to this point, bro. The North Vietnamese hear that bullshit French accent, and they're like,
Shut the fuck up.
now we're just gonna worry about you, Frenchie, because you know who occupied Vietnam, Charlie, for like almost 100 years before the Vietnam War was ever? Fucking France, bro. So now Belog is...
Thank you, Jeopardy.
Fucking Belog is royal fucked at this point. You don't gotta worry about him no more. So now again, you going to also as well as... So again, those are the final action beats building up. So now Indy and Short Round, they return the seal to its final resting place, and for the most part, they know where it is. I mean, for the most part, they know where it is. But like, again, they deactivated, dismantled, stepped over all these protections on their way in, and on the way out, on the way out, they didn't really have to worry about it. Indy learned his lesson. So none of those really, it's in effect like an open fucking path
to
the resting place of where this seal belongs. So like, Blink. Fuck, that was easy. But now short round's like, well, what's to stop anybody from just like kind of strolling in even by accident? So he's like, fuck, you're right. They have to reactivate all of the booby traps and protections on their way out. So in effect, the roles have been totally reversed. They're like the original fucking builders of this resting place, like protecting this motherfucker from would-be. If somebody gets to it, they fucking earned it. So they're doing all that. That's literally, and they're bullshitting and talking and fucking glad-handing and open heart bullshit, make you cry, because I cry pretty easy nowadays. They're like la 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 la. So they do what they gotta do. They make their way. The seal is protected again. The booby traps are what they are. Now they kind of look back, and it's not one of those like maze type Minotaur things. It's a relatively straight shot. Like, you're not supposed to see the booby traps and stuff, so you don't. But they're even having trouble now seeing the seal itself. I'm like, not on you right now. Like, because the Indiana Jones has a tendency to be like science, history, and some supernatural stuff. And sometimes, with one exception, a sci-fi type thing.
Yeah.
Legend has it like only the rightful owner, only the rightful leader.
Oh shit! Can you even see it?
Kind of like it's like calls to them. So maybe you have a little. This is still a maybe. I'll talk to the team, but maybe you zoom back to like fucking where to the stand that it was on. Whatever. Like, it's murky. It's like dark. You can't see it. Like little things kind of fall from the fucking thing, but like a Predator moment, like something falls and like hit something that you just can't see because you're not the fucking rightful owner of the seal either. So like it's there, but it's the supernatural element is there, even if it's only tickling the taint. So here
I require it to be a spider.
That's why
a spider like coming. You don't see it, and it comes over the top and down.
100%.
That shit's dope.
That's great. So whatever. So now,
it's in the movie.
It's in the movie. Electric spider coursing around the temple. It's in the movie. So what? So now they're outside. Mission is accomplished. Nobody's really chasing them anymore. They kind of like say their goodbyes, and they're both men of action. They're like, lies do not become us. It's like, probably never gonna see you again. But I hope that that's not the case. Situation. Again, Indy's. Don't forget at this point, no action of ours. Indy's son is dead and buried in a fucking war. In the Vietnam War, right? So he's like, look, I hope that's not the case, but his progeny is, and the school is different, and this and the other thing. So what's really left for Indy to do? Indy presents Short Round with his whip. I know. He tells him that in a world, when the world is such a strange place as it is now and unfamiliar to Indiana Jones.
Don't make me feel things.
But this is something that you can always count on. And Juan Lee tries to protest. Indy tells him that he'll put it to better use now than a retired professor of archaeology. They get into two different planes. We see that familiar map come back up on the screen, but this time there's one red line up and to the left, and one blue line up. They run adjacent to each other, and then they split off.
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious. There's Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel's flying the other plane.
It's been a long time.
So the blue line goes this way. The red line goes fucking this way in different directions. The movie ends with Marion and Indy back on the streets of NYC. It's a beautiful day, and though they're happy, Indy seems a little wistful. Maybe he's got like a fucking cardigan on, but the hat is still pushed back on his head. She asks him if he has any regrets about leaving the seal behind. Taking a moment, he smiles his crooked smile and says, nope, sometimes it's best to leave things where they belong. Clearly referring to himself. He removes his fedora and he places it on her head, effectively truly announcing his retirement. As they walk arm in arm into the American version of the vendor bazaar from Raiders, the sun is sitting behind them, leaving the viewer only silhouettes of the two. Cue the John Williams music, and under the credits, a sepia montage of photos from all his adventures, animated of course. Some will be familiar to us from the movies, some we never have heard of before, and I'm going to lift those straight from the comic book adventures,
Amazing.
from the young Indiana Jones adventures. You're just going to get image, and that is going to leave your viewer with like, fuck,
Crying for 2 hours?
through their tears, cry like, oh, fuck, oh, the abominable snowman, oh, shit, the lost city of Atlantis, this, that, and the other thing. You're like, look, man, Indy was not as huge as he is in your memory. He is even bigger than fucking that. And you send those motherfuckers home sad, but happy.
Listen, this has been a 1 hour elevator ride, but sold. This is sold.
Thank God.
I'm not giving you points on the film.
Oh, man.
Because I am just as tired as I've ever been hearing something. All I imagine is
You took me to a 32-hour Kevin Smith fucking marathon.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I know you have more sustenance than that.
That is true. Phenomenal job. Truly giving yourself what you want. What's very funny is I almost feel like that demands scroll. They can't really see that, but you'd have to scroll for a while to really give it to them. John,
I'll make this available on the site, you guys. Anybody who wants
that's
it,
a good
this is
idea.
a fun read.
What's very
reach out, I'll send it.
Because
to you.
our viewers are notorious readers. Just kidding.
I'll include pictures.
Fair enough. What I love about that is that almost forces its hand to like the animated series, and like you place forward, you let it be the in essence new Chronicles, and you could even for Ellis, because Ellis is not buying your script. Not enough Mutt was his review. You can even have Mutt Williams' adventures.
We'll
in your
have
animated series.
Mutt come back as a Force ghost
I like it.
and be like, yeah, I fucking knew it the whole time.
I kissed my mom. It was like just some weird Lucas bullshit. John, there's only one way we end each and every episode of US Comics Cast. Very simple. First, you gotta turn the power on. Then you gotta turn the volume up. Then you gotta move the fuck out of the way to my script. Tune Ben Marion, open up the window wide and scream out into the night sky. Say, Miss Space Girl.
I'm not asking no question. Give you my number, my address,